Hello, everyone. Thank you all for attending. My name is Paul McDonald. I'm an adult services librarian here at Carroll Stream Public Library, and today I'm going to be talking about the popular social media application known as TikTok. Today's presentation will cover the following topics: what TikTok is, how it works, and the advantages and disadvantages of using this app. By the end of this presentation, you will know what TikTok is and where it came from, how to use TikTok in different ways, and what to watch out for when using this application. Before we begin, however, I would like to stress that all the information in this presentation is current as of July 9th, 2024. Social media is constantly changing with new features and regulations added all the time, and this is especially true for TikTok. I had to revise this presentation several times after new developments emerged in both the app itself and the news story surrounding it, which made for an interesting, if slightly frustrating, research experience. It's entirely possible that one or more portions of this presentation will soon be outdated as TikTok continues to evolve, and I recommend that you continue to keep informed about this new technology going forward. What is TikTok is a surprisingly complex question to answer. Explaining exactly what TikTok is and how it came into existence requires an understanding of two different companies and three different phone applications over the course of 6 years, as the creation of TikTok is heavily intertwined with the development of both Chinese and American social media during the 2010s. In August 2012, Chinese tech company ByteDance created Toutiao, an aggregator app that presents news stories to users based on a three-part recommendation system. The system is comprised of a content profile, which rates the article itself, along with its key subjects and overall relevancy, user profile, which calculates the user's own reading habits in addition to their demographics and physical location, and environment profile, which examines the time, place, and means by which users access these stories. Using this system, Toutiao curates its newsfeed with stories that users find interesting and engaging, thereby increasing the amount of time these users spend on the app. This recommendation engine would eventually be transferred from news articles to short videos with the creation of ByteDance's Douyin app, the direct predecessor of TikTok. But the content algorithm was only part of what gave TikTok its widespread success. In April 2014, an independent Chinese startup created Musical.ly, an app that combined short videos with music and was aimed primarily at younger audiences such as teenagers. By emphasizing content where users film themselves lip-syncing to trending songs or completing online challenges, Musical.ly gained enough popularity to reach the top of the American App Store charts by July 2015. The team behind Musical.ly further expanded the app's user base by deliberately funneling attention and promotion to specific accounts on the platform, artificially inflating these accounts' status to attract legions of imitators who wanted to achieve the same level of acclaim on the app. It was unprecedented for a Chinese social media app to reach this level of success outside of its home country, and the Chinese tech industry took note of this, particularly ByteDance. In September 2016, ByteDance released Ah.me, its own short video application, which would be renamed Douyin in December of that same year. The international version of the app was renamed TikTok and debuted on the Google Play Store in May 2017. On November 10, 2017, ByteDance acquired Musical.ly and officially merged Musical.ly with TikTok on August 8, 2018. Combining the sizable base of American accounts and videos from Musical.ly with the video recommendation structure of Douyin. The fusion of the two apps proved to be a success, and TikTok promptly exploded into the omnipresent social media juggernaut we know it to be today. But how does that juggernaut work exactly? How do users interact with this app in terms of both viewing and creating content? And how do children and teenagers experience this app compared to adults? This short video from YouTube channel Insider Tech, a subsection of Business Insider, offers a quick overview of how to use the app.
We're going to show you the basics of using TikTok, such as how to navigate the homepage, view and create videos, add sound and effects, and create duets and reaction videos. Use the clickable sections below to skip to different parts of this tutorial. The first thing you'll see upon opening the TikTok app is a feed of videos. Swipe up to continue through your feed and see more content. The TikTok homepage is split into two sections. Following allows you to see videos from users you follow, and For You, which shows popular videos from across TikTok, and videos that the app predicts you will enjoy based on your viewing behaviour. Swipe left and right to switch between the feeds. You'll know which feed you're on because the title will be bold. Tap the magnifying glass at the bottom here to find what's trending. This is where the latest viral trends are found. Tap the Message tab here to go to your inbox, where you'll find notifications of followers, mentions, likes and comments on your videos, and notifications about people you follow. You can also access direct messages with users here. Tap this tab to find your personal TikTok profile, where you can also edit your profile and bio. Here is your TikTok code. The barcode is something you can show other users and have them follow you with one tap. To create a TikTok video, press on the plus sign icon in the menu bar. Doing so will open up your camera and all of the features available to use within your video. TikTok videos can go up to 3 minutes in length. You can slow down or speed up your video, add effects, and record and stitch together multiple clips. Tap Sounds here to add music to your video. TikTok has a vast library to find music. Click on the track you want to add to your video. Tap the Volume tab here to adjust the volume of your music and original audio. Once you create your video, there are even more effects at your disposal. You can trim your video as you want, add transition effects for between video clips, and add stickers and text. Click the arrow here to go to the post screen. You can add hashtags and friend mentions and also choose whether you want the post to be public, private, or visible to friends only. Click Post to post your video. If you want to see more information about the account that posted each video, you can either click on the username or this icon to follow the user. You can also swipe to the left on the video to pull up the account's profile page. Clicking on a username will bring you to the account profile page. Here, you're able to view all the videos posted by the user in a single feed and check out the user's other social accounts. In order to create a duet or reaction video, click on the arrow that appears on any TikTok video. If the user has enabled duets and reaction videos, you'll find the options in the menu that pops up. Duet allows users to add to already existing videos and add their own commentary and effects.
So if you feel like you just had a lot of information thrown at you at once, don't worry. This was primarily just an opportunity for you to get a visual idea of what using the app looks like. I'll explain some of the more advanced features you just saw later. For now, let's start with the basics. Users must provide their date of birth to create a TikTok account and must be at least 13 to sign up for TikTok in the United States. Accounts on TikTok can be both public and private, with different settings and benefits offered for each version. If an account is set to private, only users that are approved by the account's owner can follow that account, view videos from that account, and view information such as which users that account is followed or being followed by. Other users cannot download videos from a private account or make use of them in features such as Duet or Stitch, which I'll get to in a moment. If an account is set to public, then any user can follow that account. The account profile and videos can be seen and shared by anyone, even if that person doesn't have a TikTok account themselves. Content from the account may appear in search engines, social media, blogs, and news sites, and other users may be able to duet, stitch, and download videos from that account, depending on what other privacy settings the account has in place. Users with public accounts can change the privacy settings of each individual video so that everyone, friends, users the account follows who also follow the account back, or only you can view them. Users with private accounts can change the privacy settings of each individual video so that followers, friends, or only you can view these videos. Both public and private accounts will always have their name, username, and profile picture visible to anyone searching for them. An account that shares a phone number, email address, phone contacts, or Facebook friends list with TikTok through the Suggest Your Account to Others setting gives the app permission to recommend their profile to friends or mutual connections on TikTok that can be found using the information provided. Account recommendations are also prompted through this setting if the account shared or was shared a video on TikTok through a link, even if the link was shared and opened outside of the TikTok app. If an account is private, it can still be recommended through the Suggest Your Account to Others feature, but the account must provide permission before other users can watch content from the account or follow the account. The account may still be recommended to users that the account follows, shares connections or contacts with, or otherwise interacts with, even if all settings related to suggesting the account are turned off. A November 12, 2021 story from the technology news publication Wired revealed more complexities within the Suggest Your Account to Others feature, detailing that, quote, TikTok needs permission to access your contact list, but 2 users say they didn't realize they had opted into the feature until a Wired reporter asked them to check, end quote. The article went on to state that, quote, one user Wired spoke with said they recently saw a friend recommended as someone they may know, but couldn't figure out how the app knew they had a relationship. They never added a phone number to their profile, but had texted the same friend linked to a video in July. The user didn't receive a notification that it had been viewed, end quote. The Duet and Stitch features offer users with public accounts ways to incorporate videos from other TikTok users into their own content. Duet adds a video next to a video from another user to play simultaneously in a split-screen format, while Stitch allows a section of video from another user to be included as part of a new video. Any videos longer than 60 seconds cannot include content from other TikTok accounts, however, which means that duets and stitches cannot be incorporated into longer videos. User settings allow videos to be used for duets or stitches by everyone, friends, or only me. And these permissions can be adjusted both account-wide and on an individual basis for each video. If users allow other users to duet or stitch a video, and then either change the privacy settings for that video or delete it entirely, the duets and stitches others have made with that video will still exist. However, an option does exist to permanently delete all copies of an individual video, which includes all duets and stitches. Unfortunately, the Duet feature's ability to easily respond to videos with a new video played alongside it led to a rise of bullying on TikTok that utilized this feature. The 2020 book Attention Factory, which covered the development of the TikTok app, noted that, quote, Duet had previously been restricted in Musical.ly, but now users could respond to any video by recording one of their own. With many weird niche subcultures like furries on the platform, Duet became popular, quickly transforming into a bullying and harassment tool. As a countermeasure, settings were later added, allowing users to disable duets, end quote. An October 21st, 2022 article from the Washington Post further emphasized the harmful potential of these features, revealing that, quote, "It's TikTok's collaborative video tools that have really made its hate comments come to life," said Josh Helfgott, 33, who posts about LGBTQ issues to his more than 5 million followers. People often post quick reactions to other videos, using features like Duet and Stitch that leverage the original video's virality to amplify their insults in what he called a new form of bullying. "The harsher you are to the original video," he said, "the more views you're going to get." End quote. The Stories feature allows users to create a montage of images, video footage, or a combination of the two that lasts no longer than 15 seconds and will be permanently deleted 24 hours after being posted. Stories can include both original content and content created by other TikTok users, though videos from another user can only be added if that user has turned on their video download setting. Users 18 and older with over 1,000 followers are eligible to take part in TikTok Live, a live streaming service that lets TikTok creators broadcast in real time to their viewers. If the Live Gifts feature is enabled, users 18 and older can spend real money to purchase virtual money known as coins, which can then be redeemed to purchase virtual gift items that viewers can send to the live video. Gifts can also be sent to TikTok videos found through the For You feed. The Gifts feature also allows users to receive virtual credits from TikTok known as diamonds, which are awarded based on the popularity and quality of an account's video content, as well as how many gifts it has been given from other users. TikTok creators who are 18 and older and have an authorized payment service connected to their account can exchange their diamonds for money, though the exact conversion rate varies depending on how many diamonds the user has, in addition to other factors determined by TikTok. Users can buy and sell products directly through TikTok using the TikTok Commerce program. Sellers can promote products from their own TikTok shop, add shop ads to their videos and live streams, and can also highlight items from one or more TikTok shops through the Product Showcase tab on their profile, though a user does not need to have their own TikTok shop to set up a showcase. Buyers can tap links to the products displayed in shop ads or the shopping bag icon for Product Showcase located on an account homepage to make purchases without ever leaving the TikTok app. The Creator Rewards program allows TikTok users to monetize their videos through the creation of outstanding original content. To join this program, users must be 18 years or older with a personal TikTok account, have no history of repeated infringements against the app's guidelines or terms of service, must have a minimum of 10,000 followers and 100,000 video views in the last 30 days, must post original content that is at least 1 minute in length, and must not attempt to manipulate the program, commit fraud, or violate TikTok's community guidelines. To collect rewards after joining the program, a user's videos must be at least 1 minute in length, have a minimum of 1,000 qualified views in the For You feed that are at least 5 seconds long and are not paid, fraudulent, or disliked, include no advertisements or sponsorships and break none of the app's rules, and consist of top quality original content created and produced entirely by the account holder. Original content, as defined by this program, excludes any Duet or Stitch videos, as well as copied or modified content such as photos, videos, and music that were made by another user or copyrighted source. A video in the program that meets all these requirements will begin receiving rewards for every 1,000 qualified views the video gets on the For You feed, though the exact amount of revenue varies depending on the following factors: the quality of the content, when, where, and how often the creator posts videos, how other users interact with the content, and whether the content stays within the guidelines of the app. The Creator Code of Conduct outlined on the TikTok website states that actions taken by individuals both on and off TikTok may limit their eligibility for the Creator Rewards program and cause them to be either temporarily or permanently banned from any activities related to the program. Restricted behavior includes bullying and harassment, promoting or participating in activities that endanger people or animals, promoting or participating in self-harm or harming others, risking the safety of minors or otherwise exploiting their welfare, committing sexual misconduct or non-consensual sexual activity, promoting or participating in imitable behaviors that could harm people, animals, or the environment, promoting or participating in hateful behavior or speech, exploiting or spreading misinformation about a potentially traumatic political event, participating in fraudulent or criminal behavior, artificially attracting gifts and engagement using spam, misinformation, copyright infringement, or intentionally inflammatory content, and using technological or other means to give an account in the Creator Rewards program unfair advantages over other accounts in the program. While accounts in the Creator Rewards program have a great deal of requirements and regulations placed on them, accounts that follow all these rules could still present problematic or unsafe content to their viewers. A September 20th, 2023 article from Rolling Stone highlighted the potential hazards of buying products through TikTok, stating that, quote, there could potentially be severe risks that stem from taking unregulated supplements sold on TikTok Shop, particularly considering such videos do not contain disclaimers that such products are unapproved by the FDA. The fact that TikTok Shop is also allowing creators in their affiliate program to directly profit off such products, while simultaneously failing to add any disclaimers warning about their regulation status, is also cause for concern, says gastroenterologist Rabia De La Tour. End quote. A joint research study from the Digital Citizens Alliance and Coalition for a Safer Web nonprofit groups, published on May 15, 2024, indicates that TikTok users are also at risk from scam accounts offering easy access to prescription drugs such as Ozempic. As the study described, quote, Americans have turned to TikTok and other social media platforms to purchase scarce supplies of Ozempic and other prescription drugs. The investigation conducted from February through April found dozens of entities, some claiming to be legitimate pharmacies, offering to ship Ozempic, Mounjaro, and Wegovy used for weight loss. None required a prescription. Investigators transferred thousands of dollars as payment without the drugs ever being shipped. TikTok recently announced a crackdown on content from so-called media influencers promoting weight loss drugs, but investigators found most of the would-be Ozempic sellers still online in late April, end quote. On the seller side of TikTok commerce, TikTok users have faced difficulties in advertising products and maintaining an active seller account on the app, as a January 12, 2024 article from Business Insider depicted. Quote, TikTok, in recent months, has been sending a flurry of violation claims to sellers that use its e-commerce platform, stating that they've set spam prices on products, inadequately displayed items during live streams, assigned inaccurate product listing titles, or incorrectly categorized their goods. The company uses a blend of automation and human moderation to identify infractions and communicate to sellers, making it a headache to appeal decisions and get products back up for sale, sellers say, end quote. The article also stated that, quote, sellers on TikTok receive violation points for infractions that get assigned in different amounts based on the severity of the violation. A total of 48 points leads to an outright ban, but a single violation could lead TikTok to block a product from being sold, a consequential outcome for a seller if it's one of their best-selling items. Some have received violation points for failing to ship items within a 3-day window in the US, for example, which can create serious consequences for merchants, end quote. Restrictions on content intended for the For You feed are similar to the regulations on the Creator Code of Conduct and include anything that shows, describes, or promotes the following. Content from an account holder under 16. Hateful behavior and speech, including both direct and indirect statements against protected groups. Harmful behaviors, products, and procedures related to weight management and body image. Activity involving moderate physical harm. Nudity or body exposure of adults, youth, toddlers, and infants. Sexualized or suggestive behaviors or items. Shocking and graphic materials such as blood, gore, distressing news footage, and mildly disgusting imagery. Conspiracies, health misinformation, repurposed/manipulated media or authoritative data, and unverified or unvetted claims. Unverified or misrepresented claims that threaten election or civic integrity. Tricking or manipulating others to artificially increase gifts or user engagement. Reproduced, unoriginal, or low-quality content that includes extremely short clips or videos made of animated GIFs. Gambling or gambling-like activities. Tobacco, drugs, and the excessive consumption of alcohol. Marketing content that is not properly disclosed. And live content that directs users off platform or is ineligible for the For You feed in other ways. User accounts will be banned if they do not meet the minimum age requirement or any other stated prerequisites for owning an account, deceptively impersonate another individual or entity, are created or used to avoid restrictions or bans placed on another account, accumulate enough strikes for violations of a particular policy or feature, commit repeated infractions of TikTok's intellectual property policy, and have an extreme policy violation on the account that promotes or facilitates content such as child exploitation or sexual abuse, violence, non-consensual sexual activity, human trafficking, or real-world torture. Activity a user makes outside of the TikTok platform may also be considered grounds for banning if the activity concerns violent or hateful acts and child exploitation or abuse. Accounts that pose a, quote, specific, credible, and imminent threat to human life or serious physical injury, end quote, as defined by the Accounts and Features section of the TikTok Community Guidelines, will be reported to law enforcement officials. If a user frequently posts content that is acceptable under the terms of the platform, but is inappropriate for the For You feed, both the account and its associated content may become harder to search for on the TikTok app. Any posted links to external content, direct messages, or comments made by a user that violate TikTok's guidelines may result in the removal of the offending content, restrictions on the user's behavior, or an account ban. Children on TikTok have greater levels of security surrounding the information on their accounts. As a December 13th, 2019 blog post on the TikTok website explained, quote, "We accommodate users under the age of 13 in a limited app experience, TikTok for younger users, that introduces additional safety and privacy protections designed specifically for an audience that is under 13 years old. Users are provided a viewing experience that does not permit sharing of personal information and puts extensive limitations on content and user interaction. In this ecosystem, users cannot do things like share their videos, comment on others' videos, message with users, or maintain a profile or followers," end quote. The TikTok for Younger Users system has been renamed the TikTok Under 13 Experience since that blog post was published, but the underlying rules and regulations have remained the same. The Youth Safety and Well-Being section of the TikTok Community Guidelines emphasizes that, quote, "We do not allow content that may put young people at risk of exploitation or psychological, physical, or developmental harm. This includes child sexual abuse material, CSAM, youth abuse, bullying, dangerous activities and challenges, exposure to overtly mature themes, and consumption of alcohol, tobacco, drugs, or regulated substances. If we become aware of youth exploitation on our platform, we will ban the account as well as any other accounts belonging to the person," end quote. A July 13th, 2022 blog post on the TikTok website described another safeguard in place for younger users of the app, explaining that, quote, "When we detect that a video contains mature, complex themes, for example, fictional scenes that may be too frightening or intense for younger audiences, a maturity score will be allocated to the video to help prevent those under 18 from viewing it across the TikTok experience," end quote. TikTok provides special restrictions for teen users. Users aged 13 to 17 have a daily maximum of 60 minutes of screen time on TikTok before they are prompted to enter a passcode to continue viewing, cannot buy or sell through TikTok Shop, cannot post their own live streams, and default settings prevent their accounts from being recommended to others. Individual restrictions vary between younger and older teens. For users aged 13 to 15, pop-up notifications are disabled after 9 p.m. Their content can only receive comments from friends. Their accounts are automatically set to private and are blocked from sending or receiving direct messages. Their content cannot be used for duets and stitches, though they can create duets and stitches with content from other accounts. Their content cannot be downloaded, and their content will not appear in the For You feed. For users aged 16 to 17, pop-up push notifications for account activity will be disabled after 10 p.m. Their content can only receive comments from friends and followers. Their direct message permissions are set to no one by default, but can be changed to friends or suggested friends, which include both friends and people the user may know on the platform. If these users have private accounts, duets and stitches cannot be made with their content. They cannot make duets or stitches with other accounts' content, and their videos cannot be downloaded. If these users have public accounts, only friends can make duets or stitches with their videos by default, though everyone in Only Me settings are also available for these features. These users also have the option to enable the Allow Duet and Allow Stitch features to determine whether others can use their videos for either feature. And their video download permissions are off by default, but can be turned on. Teens have still found ways around these safeguards, though, as an NBC News report from October 9, 2023 revealed, quote, NBC News identified 6 TikTok accounts that have published dozens of TikTok Shop videos over the past 2 weeks. The creators all identified publicly as under the age of 18. While TikTok requires people selling their own products to provide TikTok with a form of government-issued ID, creators who are just advertising other people's products don't have to prove their age. According to TikTok's rules, users must be 18 and provide valid tax and banking information to enroll in TikTok Shop, end quote. Parents or guardians concerned about their teen's behavior on TikTok can utilize the family pairing feature, which links a teen account and an adult account together so that the adult can choose the privacy and content settings for the teen. Adult users can change whether the teen's account is public or private, limit who can comment on the teen's videos, limit who is allowed to send private messages to the teen's account, but only if the teen is 16 or older and capable of using direct messaging in the first place, limit who can be recommended the teen's account and who can view which videos the teen has liked, restrict the appearance of content unsuited for all audiences in the teen's For You feed, restrict what content, hashtags, or keywords the teen can either be recommended or search for on their own, enable a STEM feed function that includes more science, technology, engineering, and mathematics videos in the teen's For You feed, block push notifications to the teen's device at certain times of day, manage and monitor the teen's daily screen time on the app on all devices, including both setting specific limits and changing the passcode required to remain on the app past those limits, and receive notifications about the teen's activity, including if their account becomes unlinked to the adult's account. Similar time management settings are available for TikTok users of all ages. Users can schedule screen time limits for individual days of the week, screen time break reminders, weekly notifications of their screen time data, sleep reminders at specific times of night, and periods where push notifications from TikTok are muted. A screen time dashboard that tracks users' activity and habits is also accessible in the user profile. If all of that seems overwhelming, I want to assure you that all the information in the previous section that wasn't from a news article or YouTube video came directly from the TikTok website. You can also email me at pmcdonald, that's PMCDONALD, at CSLIBRARY.org, and I'll happily send you a copy of my slides, my script, and a list of the sources I used for reference if you want to look any of this up in further detail. So now that you know where TikTok came from and how it works, let's look at some of the positive effects this app has had on both its users and society at large. For younger generations, TikTok has found surprising utility as a search engine, as a November 16, 2022 article in the New York Times described. Quote, doing a search on TikTok is often more interactive than typing in a query on Google. Instead of just slogging through walls of text, Gen Zers crowdsource recommendations from TikTok videos to pinpoint what they are looking for. watching video after video to cull the content. Then they verify the veracity of a suggestion based on comments posted in response to the videos. With videos often less than 60 seconds long, TikTok returned what feels like more relevant answers, and he said, end quote. The success of innovative gay hip-hop artist Lil Nas X is a direct result of his popularity on TikTok, as a March 30th, 2019 story from Time magazine explained, quote, Lil Nas X's path to success might not have been possible just 2 years ago. His song Old Town Road caught fire not on the radio airwaves, but as a meme on TikTok. On the app, millions of video creators use the song as a soundtrack to transform themselves into cowboys and cowgirls. Videos with hashtag Yeehaw, almost all of which sample Old Town Road, have been seen more than 67 million times, end quote. TikTok created an upswing in popularity not only for up-and-coming music artists, but for established musicians as well. A single TikTok video posted on September 25th, 2020, featuring the song Dreams by rock band Fleetwood Mac, went viral and had 1 million views within the first day of its release. As a result of the popularity of this video, by October 2020, Dreams was on the Billboard Hot 100 chart of the most popular songs across all genres, where it had not been since the track was first released in 1977. The song had been streamed 8.47 million times in 1 week, setting a new record, and the Fleetwood Mac song album containing the song, Rumors, hit the top 40 on the Billboard list of most bought/streamed albums each week, where it had not been since 2013. In particularly good news for libraries and librarians, the BookTok community on TikTok has created a uniquely reader-centric source for promoting new books, as a March 20th, 2021 article from the New York Times demonstrated. Quote, TikTok is not an obvious destination for book buzz, but videos made mostly by women in their teens and 20s have come to dominate a growing niche under the hashtag BookTok, where users recommend books, record time lapses of themselves reading, or sob openly into the camera after an emotionally crushing ending, end quote. That same New York Times article went on to state that, quote, Miriam Parker, a vice president and associate publisher at Echo, which released the Song of Achilles, said the company saw sales spike on August 9th, 2020, but couldn't figure out why. It eventually traced it to a TikTok video called Books That Will Make You Sob, published on August 8th, 2020 by @MoonGirlReads. Today, in 2021, that video has been viewed nearly 6 million times, end quote. The article also noted how publishers reacted to this phenomenon, relating that, quote, John Adamo, the head of marketing for Random House Children's Books, said it now works with about 100 TikTok users. Once a title takes off on TikTok, he said, the machine of publishing can start to get behind it. Big retailers can discount it, publisher might start running ads, and if a book becomes a bestseller, that also leads to more sales. But without TikTok, he said, we wouldn't be talking about this at all, end quote. Even the cooking industry has been affected by TikTok, as a May 25th, 2021 article from the New York Times explained, quote, many Gen Z stars on Food Talk, as some call the food community on the app, wonder why anyone would pay their dues at a grueling restaurant job when they could be building their own brand online. Others are leaving the restaurant business to pursue full-time careers as content creators, and several are monetizing through TikTok's Creator Fund, which pays content creators based on how many views their videos get, and through advertising deals and sponsorships, end quote. That same New York Times article also noted that, quote, accessibility is important among young TikTok cooks. Food creators said they wanted to communicate to their audience that anyone could cook good food, regardless of background or budget. Many find their recipes on social media and other websites, integrating cooking tips from platforms like Reddit and Snapchat into their videos. TikTok food star Ahmad Al-Sababi said Gen Z TikTok food stars are also a little bit more creative in the kitchen, routinely making food from different cultures or fusing dishes together. Some TikTok cooks, but not all, credit the cultural origins of their dishes in the comments section of their videos, end quote. Unfortunately, no new technology comes without risk, and there are serious potential problems to consider when using the TikTok app. You may have wondered why I've been mentioning the For You feed on TikTok so frequently without fully explaining what it is first. There's a reason for that. The For You feed represents some of the biggest problems with TikTok in both form and function, and it's difficult to talk about this feature without going into the downsides of TikTok as a whole. To start with, a New York Times article from March 10, 2019 defines the For You feed as follows, quote, "It's an algorithmic feed based on videos you've interacted with or even just watched. It never runs out of material. It is not, unless you train it to be, full of people you know or things you've explicitly told it you want to see. It's full of things that you seem to have demonstrated you want to watch, no matter what you actually say you want to watch." End quote. A special investigative video by the Wall Street Journal on YouTube from July 21st, 2021 provided greater insight into the workings of the For You feed, reporting that, quote, "Officially, the company says that shares, likes, follows, and what you watch all play a role in what TikTok shows you. We found that TikTok only needs one of these to figure you out: how long you linger over a piece of content. Every second you hesitate or rewatch, the app is tracking you." End quote. The video went on to note that, quote, "The Wall Street Journal created over 100 automated TikTok accounts or bots that watch hundreds of thousands of videos on the app. We gave each bot or user interests, but those interests were never entered into the app. The only way our users expressed their interest was by rewatching or pausing on videos with related hashtags or images." End quote. The Wall Street Journal video used one specific bot account to illustrate the profound effects of the For You feed on users, demonstrating that, quote, "We programmed Wall Street Journal bot account Kentucky 96 to be interested in sadness and depression. After 224 videos into the bot's overall journey, for about 36 minutes of total watch time, TikTok's understanding of Kentucky 96 takes shape. 93% of videos shown to the account are about sadness or depression. A TikTok spokeswoman said that some of the remaining 7% of videos are to help the user discover different content. But for Kentucky 96, such videos were few and far between. The majority of videos it was shown outside of its depressive rabbit hole were ads." End quote. I want everyone to stop and think about the implications of this for a moment. It takes less than 40 minutes for the For You feed to select which topics it assumes the user wants to see and start changing the videos in the user's feed to match. If the algorithm picks a relatively harmless topic such as baby animals or flower gardens, then that's nothing to worry about. But if the topic picked is self-harm, eating disorders, or drug use, what happens then? If a user doesn't browse TikTok with full knowledge that the For You feed works like this, and I don't imagine that very many do, they're not going to realize what is happening to their feed or what actions they need to take to change it. Imagine the mental state a user could find themselves in after hours and hours spent scrolling through content that relentlessly dwells on the same negative or disturbing topics over and over. Now imagine this happening to a teenager or to a child. Even with every safeguard on underage accounts that I've mentioned so far, this funneling of users into extremely specific niches of content is exactly how TikTok is designed to work. Whether the subject matter is considered appropriate by the app or not, the For You feed will send users down a rabbit hole regardless, no matter how old or how mature the user happens to be. To TikTok's credit, the app has worked on minimizing how much of a potentially damaging subject is present in the For You feed at any one time, as a December 16th, 2021 blog post on the TikTok website outlined. Quote, "We're testing ways to avoid recommending a series of similar content, such as around extreme dieting or fitness, sadness, or breakups, to protect against viewing too much of a content category that may be fine as a single video, but problematic if viewed in clusters. We're also working to recognize if our system may be inadvertently recommending only very limited types of content that, though not violative of our policies, could have a negative effect if that's the majority of what someone watches, such as content about loneliness or weight loss." End quote. The blog post also noted that, quote, we're working on a feature that would let people choose words or hashtags associated with content they don't want to see in their For You feed. We already enable people to tap any video and select not interested to automatically skip future videos from that same creator or using the same audio. This new tool will offer another way to help people customize their feed, whether for a vegetarian who wants to see fewer meat recipes or someone working on self-esteem who would rather see fewer beauty tutorials, end quote. As encouraging as these developments were, however, they did not change the inherent design of the For You feed, and they proved ineffective against one of the most dangerous and even deadly aspects of TikTok, challenge videos. A documentary video by Bloomberg Originals, posted on YouTube on November 30th, 2022, focused on the Blackout Challenge, one of the most notorious trending challenges in the history of TikTok. The video reported that, quote, kids around the world were choking themselves with household items until they blacked out, filming the adrenaline rush they got regaining consciousness, and then posting the videos to social media. The Blackout Challenge has been linked to the deaths of at least 15 kids aged 12 or younger in the past 18 months. According to data Bloomberg Businessweek compiled from news reports, court records, and interviews with family members. At least 5 children aged 13 and 14 also died in that time, end quote. 20 children, most of them under 13, died because of this social media challenge. 20 children. The video went on to describe TikTok's reaction to the controversy surrounding these deaths, reporting that, quote, in January of 2021, after the first child's death was connected to the Blackout Challenge and linked to TikTok, the company decided to scrub the ability to search for Blackout Challenge content on the app. They have updated their community guidelines to say they ban any kind of content that glorifies dangerous or harmful behavior. They've also trained their moderators to look out for Blackout Challenge or other dangerous challenges that are spreading across their sites. They are removing this content. But despite all these safety measures, the deaths kept happening. We found that the Blackout Challenge was cited as the cause of more than a dozen deaths of children throughout 2021, end quote. Other challenges on the TikTok app include the Benadryl Challenge, where users are filmed intentionally overdosing on Benadryl pills to induce a hallucinogenic high, and the Milk Crate Challenge, where users are filmed trying to walk across an unsteady pyramid of milk crates without falling. The Benadryl Challenge resulted in 3 hospitalizations and 1 death in 2020, all involving teenagers. And the Milk Crate Challenge resulted in numerous injuries, including dislocated shoulders, broken wrists, fractured ribs, and damaged spinal cords in August 2021. Incidentally, the Milk Crate Challenge is one of the few aspects of TikTok I had actually heard about before starting research for this presentation, as it was everywhere on the internet during the summer of 2021. I guess if one of these challenges had to reach mainstream popularity, it's a good thing it was the one that was the least fatal. That's the bar we're clearing at this point. The previously mentioned trend of using TikTok as a substitute search engine also had its downsides, as a September 14th, 2022 article from the News Information Evaluation Service NewsGuard demonstrated, quote, in September 2022, 4 US-based NewsGuard analysis contrasted search results on TikTok and Google to find information about the 2020 presidential election, COVID-19, the Russia-Ukraine war, the 2022 US midterm elections, abortion, and school shootings, among other topics in the news. TikTok repeatedly delivered videos containing false claims in the first 20 results, often within the first 5. Google, by comparison, provided higher quality and less polarizing results with far less misinformation, end quote. I will again stress that the TikTok algorithm is not designed to favor truthful or accurate content, but whatever gets users to spend as much time on the app as possible. The lack of transparency over how and why content on TikTok is censored by ByteDance was explored in a September 15th, 2019 article from the Washington Post, which related that, quote, it's impossible to know what videos are censored on TikTok. ByteDance's decisions about the content it surfaces or censors are largely opaque. The company provides no information about the videos it removes for violating its prohibitions against hate speech or extremism, and it does not offer the kinds of tools that would make the platform accessible to outside research, end quote. The Washington Post article highlighted how information on the 1989 Tiananmen Square massacre is censored on TikTok, noting that, quote, the Tiananmen Square hashtag, named for the sprawling Beijing center where military forces in 1989 killed thousands of people following pro-democracy protests, a massacre strictly censored across China, shows about 20 videos, most of which joke that the bloody episode never happened, end quote. Other news reports and investigative inquiries have provided insight into what is censored on the TikTok platform, including a March 16, 2020 article from online nonprofit news organization The Intercept, and a February 12, 2019 feature from Netzpolitik, a German news website dedicated to issues of digital freedom and digital rights. The article from The Intercept noted that TikTok moderators were specifically instructed to minimize the appearance of content from, quote, unattractive, poor, or otherwise undesirable users, end quote, within the For You feed, and that any documentation of military or police academy activity could lead to the offending account or live stream being temporarily taken down. The Netzpolitik report provided additional categories of users that moderators were told to exclude from the For You feed, supposedly to protect them from bullying. People with disabilities such as facial disfigurements, autism, and Down syndrome, and any users that describe themselves as lesbian, gay, or non-binary. Concerns about how much information from TikTok users in the United States has been shared with Chinese company ByteDance have also arisen in recent years, particularly in the wake of an exclusive June 17, 2022 story from BuzzFeed News, which revealed that, quote, according to leaked audio from more than 80 internal TikTok meetings, China-based employees of ByteDance have repeatedly accessed non-public data about US TikTok users. 9 statements by 8 different employees describe situations where US employees had to turn to their colleagues in China to determine how US user data was flowing. US staff did not have permission or knowledge of how to access the data on their own, according to the tapes, end quote. TikTok's response to these concerns entailed the creation of a new division within the company, as outlined in a Wall Street Journal article from January 30th, 2024. Quote, TikTok executives publicly promised to voluntarily wall off American user data and bring in engineers and third parties to certify the app's algorithm-delivered content without interference from China, where its parent company, ByteDance, is located. The special standalone unit, codenamed Project Texas, oversees American data and content recommendations on its app, end quote. Project Texas quickly encountered problems when attempting to analyze TikTok for signs of outside intrusion, as that same Wall Street Journal article depicted. Quote, Project Texas employees in charge of reviewing TikTok software were instructed to inspect TikTok's code for signs of Chinese interference before allowing updates. The Project Texas workers soon found a mountain of code waiting for them to verify each morning. Under pressure to work quickly, employees found the task to be impossible without more personnel, according to people familiar with the unit. Meanwhile, TikTok's algorithm is incorporating a growing number of updates that the Project Texas team hasn't run through a review, end quote. An April 15, 2024 article from Fortune indicated that ByteDance continued to access user data from TikTok even after the creation of Project Texas, reporting that, quote, Evan Turner, who worked at TikTok as a senior data scientist from April to September in 2022, said that TikTok concealed the involvement of its Chinese owner during his employment. Nearly every 14 days, as part of Turner's job throughout 2002, he emailed spreadsheets filled with data for hundreds of thousands of US users to ByteDance workers in Beijing. That data included names, email addresses, IP addresses, and geographic and demographic information of TikTok US users, he says. It all took place after the company had started its initiative to keep sensitive US user data in the US and only available to US workers, end quote. A September 27th, 2023 article from Forbes revealed how personal contact information from user accounts were easily accessible by both TikTok and ByteDance employees, as the article stated that, quote, some employees who focused on privacy and security at TikTok worry about the fact that nearly anyone with default access to company tools, including staff in China, have been able to easily look up the closest, sometimes deeply personal, contacts and sprawling networks of any account, public or private, on the back end. Experts and sources describe how this could facilitate efforts to sow public dissent, spread disinformation, commit espionage, or dox, bribe, and blackmail certain users. End quote. The controversy surrounding TikTok's privacy and security concerns eventually culminated in the event I'm sure everyone has heard of by now, the TikTok ban. As recounted in an April 26, 2024 article from the New York Times, quote, concerns that the Chinese government could access sensitive user data through the short-form video app TikTok, which is owned by the Chinese company ByteDance, have prompted the US government to pass legislation banning the social media platform unless it is sold to a government-approved buyer. President Biden on Wednesday signed into law legislation that gives ByteDance up to a year to divest from TikTok after the US Senate approved it on Tuesday night, end quote. The article went on to explain that, quote, the mechanics of the ban take aim at app stores, like those operated by Apple and Google. If they distribute or update TikTok, the federal government could impose civil penalties on them. Internet hosting companies will also be barred from helping to distribute or maintain TikTok. The exact mechanism for banning an app from privately owned phones is unclear, end quote. On May 7, 2024, TikTok sued the United States federal government in response to this legislation, with the details laid out in an article from the New York Times published that same day. Quote, TikTok sued the federal government on Tuesday over a new law that would force its Chinese owner, ByteDance, to sell this popular social media app or face a ban in the United States. TikTok argued that a divestiture was simply not possible, especially within the law's 270-day timeline, end quote. The article expanded on this point by stating that, quote, it is also impossible to move the app's underlying coding to a new owner, TikTok argued, adding that it would take years for a new set of engineers to familiarize themselves with that code to develop and maintain the platform. In addition, the engineers would need access to ByteDance software to keep TikTok functioning, which the new law prohibits, the company argued. TikTok's success also hinges on its recommendation algorithm, which helps surface tailored content to users, something the Chinese government has said it would not sell, the suit notes, end quote. As of right now, the case has yet to be resolved. Whether this app even has a future in the United States past the next few months, it's important for us to think about how we treat TikTok regardless, as everything we now know about this app and its users raises important questions about our relationship with technology. How do we treat a social media app that offers unprecedented forms of community, connection, and artistic expression while also manipulating its audience and concealing how it operates? TikTok has the power to uplift and inspire its users, but parents, teens, and children should be aware of the security, privacy, and content-related concerns surrounding individual accounts and take special care in how they use the app in general. Ultimately, how to use the app, what to use it for, and what to look out for when using it are all up to the individual user to decide. If anything you heard or saw in this presentation made you want to learn more or spread the word to others, then I've done my part to raise awareness and help everyone stay informed.